between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. Right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Weisz.
Dr. Jeremy Weisz here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs like the founders of P90 X, Atari, many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. Our sponsor today is Rise25.com, which helps service professionals, doctors, lawyers, accountants, coaches create additional revenue streams. Stop trading time for dollars. We hold you accountable to your biggest goals with a step-by-step roadmap. Check out Rise25.com. It's run by myself and co-founder John Corcoran. It's application only. Today, I'm very excited. I've been hearing this name for years and years and this company for years and years. Joe Barton, he's founder of BartonPublishing. It's one of the top digital publishers of natural health solutions and home remedies with over 1 million books sold. It includes the best-selling Diabetes Solution Kit, the flagship natural health newsletter Home Cures at Work, and the publisher of Whole Tones Healing Frequency Music. And Joe was a former accountant who founded Barton Publishing in 2004 from, I love the description, Joe, is from a tiny basement office, no windows, probably no light from the outside world, on a farm in the middle of Minnesota. What's a big milestone you're especially proud of in the business? Like if you look back, you've been in this business for over a decade. What's something that makes you especially proud?
I would say just the longevity that we are still here after 13 years, because I've seen a lot of businesses and friends that have kind of come and gone, sadly, you know, like something will happen and they weren't able to weather the storm or whatever, just big challenges. So, just kind of a resilience, I would say, and able to adapt, I guess. And, you know, it's especially important to me as my 4 boys are all grown up, and my oldest is graduated high school this year. It's just to be able to see, like, I've been able to be here for them, going to all of their, school events and sporting events and home, you know, when they need whatever, and they'll come in randomly, and I'm surprised they didn't come in and knock on the door.
We want them on the.
Yeah.
So what is he going to do after school? After high school?
My oldest is going to go down to ORU in Tulsa. So he's going to start in a business major. So he's actually my oldest 2 kids have an Amazon and an eBay business now selling whole tones. So
that's awesome.
They're learning.
I was thinking, like, forget college, just like. They have this thriving education, like with you. So what do you? I'm curious. What do you suggest? Obviously, you're an entrepreneur. You want them to be entrepreneurial and have kind of control of what they do. What do you What do you tell him now that he's off to college?
Yeah. So I tell them I want them to do what they feel like they're called to do or are gifted to do or whatever they're interested in. So like my oldest is very much like. He's a social butterfly, a very strong leader. Just everybody loves him, but he's he'll get up in front of people and talk and share things from his heart, and just an all around great guy. And so he's going to flourish in college. I know he'll connect there. My second oldest is he's like really smart, but he's not disciplined and organized, but he's like brilliant, and he's got a YouTube channel, ZMS Productions. He and his buddies will do these 5-minute videos and very creative.
We'll have to link it up in the show notes. What's the link?
ZMS Productions on YouTube.
What is it? EMS or Z?
ZMS.
ZMS.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's 3 buddies, or he and his 2 buddies.
Well, let's link up ZMS Productions.
Yeah. So I could totally.
What kind of videos are there?
They'll like. So he likes to go to like thrift stores and find deals, and so they will have video of them going in, finding deals, and then using it. You know, whether they buy a scooter or they'll buy a hat or I don't know, just random. It's very random, and it's a bunch of 15, 16-year-old boys just being boys.
So he's creative, the creative type.
Yeah. And I don't see him necessarily as a traditional going off to college, getting a degree type of thing. He'll probably go to college, but it'll be more for the other reasons, just social, because that's what everybody does type of thing. But I could see him totally coming up with the next, Facebook invention or something crazy, that we don't know,
Right.
Doesn't exist yet, but
he's creative. He'll think of something.
Yep, and it'll be because of his, willingness or preference to live outside the box and stuff like that.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. That's interesting. Because they grow up with you, and what your situation is non-traditional,
Right.
in a sense, right? So they don't. That's traditional to them. Like what you're doing is normal.
Right.
Right.
Good point.
As opposed to before, which is if they saw you in the accountant role.
Yeah.
Like what they see for you is that's their normal world. Right. So I'm really curious of what their perception of the world is different from probably most people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's I think through their friends, and they hang out with their friends and see their families, and they realize like what normal probably looks like to most people for the most part. And so I think they've got a pretty good understanding that we're non-traditional and this isn't normal, but it opens up the world of opportunities for what can be done, and sometimes like people don't want this type of lifestyle because it's a lot of risk taking and unknowns, uncertainties, and which is fine. Some people just aren't wired that way.
Yeah. So last question, Joe, is you have a really a cause that you are is close to your heart with foster children.
Yep.
Can you talk about what that is and what that looks like in your world?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So 5 years ago, my wife became the director of Royal Family Kids Camp in South Dakota, it's a nationwide organization based out of California. They started 25 years ago. And basically, it's a bunch of volunteers that get together and host like a week of summer camp for foster kids and foster kids. And so, like
all over, like just in that area, or how does that?
Yeah. So for us, like her camp had 52 kids last year, ages 6 to 12, and we stay. They do it up at a camp on a lake, and it's 75 adult volunteers that are all pre-screened and all that. And but they do crafts, games, eat meals with them, and the whole goal of that week is just to let them have fun and be a kid and not have a worry in the world, because it's completely opposite of what their normal life is. And it's kind of heart-wrenching on Friday when you have to say goodbye, and some of these kids are going back to some hard situations where they're living with foster parents.
Can you talk about that? Like, I mean, you've experienced that, but what would be like a situation that, because you've probably heard all sorts of stories, right, of what their actual situation they're going back to. What's that look like, to give some perspective?
So these are kids that a lot of them have gone through sexual abuse, physical abuse, neglect. A lot of them would have parents that are drug addicts, alcoholics, that just, aren't good parents at all, and make bad choices, and then their kids, face a situation where things escalate, and then the cops come and take them, and they get put into a home, basically. So.
And then how old are the kids at the camp?
At the camp, they're ages 6 to 12. Yeah. And then we founded a new organization called Fostering Hope. It's fosteringHopeSD.org. And that was to create, a couple different purposes. One is we put together the funding to buy a camp so that we can host these camps.
That's awesome.
And
that's Fostering Hope SD, like South Dakota.org.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. But we also created a couple new programs to help the kids after they are outside of that week of camp. So there's 3 different programs. One of them is to do like a quarterly reunion where we get all the kids together, play games, kind of just reconnect, so it's not just once a year. And then the other thing we have is a mentoring program. So after somebody is 12, they graduate from the week-long Royal Family Kids Camp. But now what are we going to do with them after that? is what we're trying to answer, and that's where we do mentorship.
Because you just don't want to send them home and be like, okay, like, here's a week, like, good luck with your life type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, that program alone does change people tremendously, but then to be able to support them with like life skills, like we'll do like a weekend retreat with them where some of their adult leaders will come and just kind of spend time, teaching them, like, here's how you manage your finances, or here's how you cook, or here's how you talk about different issues that maybe a dad would talk to them about. They don't have a dad in their life, so that type of thing. So it's really kind of like a brother program in some ways.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, just every little step helps a tremendous amount. I'm sure. Yeah. What situation do they go back to? Like, some of them have to go back to the normal situation, or do they go back to like a foster home? Or
I would say the majority are actually, half of them get adopted into good homes, which is great. The other half are kind of either bouncing back and forth between foster home and their own birth parents, or they might be in like with grandpa and grandma or aunt and uncle, something like that.
Family member,
yeah. It's usually not a horrible situation by any means.
Yeah, but I mean, those kids sustain a lot of trauma, and that trauma is tough for the rest of their life sometimes. Yeah, it's a lot of things that, when you see something, it's really hard to unsee it, and especially with sexual abuse, things like that. Like, we just hear some horrific stories that just breaks your heart. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, people could check out fosteringHopeSD.org. Joe, thanks for sharing that. I just saw the movie Lion. I don't know if you've heard of it or seen it, but I
haven't seen it yet.
I mean, it kind of shows some of the crazy things that happen when kids don't have the proper home life situation. They get put in situations that they shouldn't be put in at a young age. So, but you've seen it real up close and personal with these camps. So, is there any way people, if they want to help contribute or help in any way, I don't know, when they go to fosteringHopeSD.org,
Yeah, they can go there if they want to make like a financial donation. We're always looking for help, and that money gets put to help these kids develop the programs, help support the camp, things like that. That's great. And I'll just say, like, to have a bigger purpose as an entrepreneur, I think is a big difference, and it's another reason to drive you.
It's a huge why. Yeah.
And it goes beyond, we still feel like we're making a big difference with our products, but to be able to go, in a different capacity, and it just like, it's a community coming together, and it just has like a higher purpose that drives you in a different way. So,
is it something you do every year? Like, are you actually, or do you get a bunch of volunteers there, or how does that work?
So, as the husband of the director of the camp, you can imagine that she puts me to work, and so I've been like a guide to the kids in the past, where there would be one guide with 2 kids. It's a small ratio. I've also done like the music ministry part of it, and I've worked in the activity center, doing crafts, making duct tape wallets, just hanging out, playing Legos with the kids, whatever's needed. So
do they only allow adults to volunteer, or do your boys sometimes?
16 up. Yeah. So
okay.
My oldest son has done it twice now, and then our next oldest will be doing it for the first time this year. So yeah, it's cool. It's really like my favorite week of the year. It's hard because it's 24/7 nonstop, go, but it's so rewarding and fulfilling to see the kids just be kids, and you're making a big impact on them. So yeah. It's cool.
Joe, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everyone should check out BartonPublishing.com or Holtones.com or FosteringHopeSD.org. So
awesome.
Thanks, Joe.
This has been great. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like $100 grand.